All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So just finding again your comfortable seat, a place where you can just settle in and take a moment to gather yourself together. So I know waking up like an extra hour earlier and practicing takes a little adjustment. Hi, Penny. We're just settling in and just taking a moment to either feel where your seat connects to the ground or a block or a cushion. Feel that your spine is upright. So shoulders align over the hips. Here she is. Welcome, welcome. We're just starting in a seated position. You can let your eyes come to close. And in the next couple of breaths, just see if you can get a sense of your whole self settling in. So just noticing all the little parts of your body that you habitually hold tension in, and seeing if you can just get a sense of allowing yourself to drop in. So softening the shoulders, the belly, the eyelids, and the jaw. And as your body settles into stillness, without feeling like you need to change anything, just begin to notice where you feel your breath in your body. Feel your body breathing in this posture as you begin your practice on this morning. And as you observe your ordinary natural breath, take a moment to notice how you show up today. What does it feel like in your body, in your mind, in your spirit? And just take a moment to really check in. What is it you need from your practice today? How is it you need to move? So that when you feel, or when you finish your practice today, you feel more connected, more grounded. Slowly begin to deepen your breath just a little bit. And see if you can start to move towards a nice, slow, even breath. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. One more time, just like this. Slow breath in. And slow breath out. And let your arms release alongside your body. One more breath like that. And then we'll begin to add some movement going into our warm-up. On your next breath in, arms come out and up. And as you exhale, arms come back down. Again, just like that. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, arms come back down. Good. This time moving on. Inhale, arms come up. Interlace the hands, invert the palms. One more breath in. And exhale, bend the elbows. Slide the hands behind the head. Inhale here. Exhale, shift the hands to the right and see if you can press the back of your head into your left forearm, just opening up the left side of the body a little bit more. One more breath in. And as you exhale, release the right hand down, find a side bend. One more breath here. Extend your left arm long, just going into a side bend. One more breath. Maybe press the head back just a little bit. And as you exhale, come all the way back up to vertical. Left hand comes to the outside of the right thigh. So moving right into spinal twist. Inhale, get tall. And exhale, spinal twist. Rotate here. Good. After your next breath out, release, come back to center. And we'll do the whole thing on the other side. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms release back down. Good. One more time, just like that. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms come down. Just syncing breath and movement, slow and steady. Last time, inhale, arms come up. Interlace the hands, palms to the ceiling. Good. Inhale, hold here. Exhale, bend the elbows. Hands slide behind the head. Gently press the head into the hands. Open up across the chest. Breathe in. And exhale, shift the hands to the left. Right forearm behind the head. Take a moment to lengthen on the right side of your body. And as you exhale, left hand comes down, lean to the left, find your side body stretch. Good. Now release the right arm long. Take one more breath in. One more breath out, side body long. Inhale back to vertical. And sweep the right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Good. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, spinal twist. Turn to look over the left shoulder. Good. Release the spinal twist. Come back to center. And just go ahead and loosen the shoulders a little bit. All right. Let's come over onto our mat and find hands and knees. So just coming to hands and knees, you can grab your blocks, place them at the top of your mat. And as you set up for, for your cat and cow, you can just go right into your cat and cow from here. So just finding, exhaling, rounding the spine, and inhaling, top arch. So just starting to explore final movement here. Taking your time. Couple more cycles on your own, adding in any extra movement that feels good. And then when you're ready, in the next breath or two, bring yourself back to a neutral spine. So really thinking about tailbone lengthening back, sternum reaching forward, or rather crown of the head may be a better visual for that, reaching forward. And from here, extend your right heel back, right leg parallel to the ground. So we're just moving into extensions, really secure the left shin to the ground. Feel the right hand pressing into the ground. And then go ahead and take the left arm forward. Just checking in with your balance this morning. Notice how this feels. Make sure that right hip point is reflecting your mat. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, left hand comes down, right toes come down. So the leg is still extended on the right side. Kickstand your left foot out to the left. And rotate your right hip on top of the left hip. So just coming into a variation of side plank. Left knee is under the left hip, supporting the weight of your body. Right arm comes up. Good. And then if you want, you can externally rotate your right shoulder and reach the right arm alongside your the right side of your head. Just a nice side body opening here, all along the right side. So you can really lift the hips, even with the right foot down. Good. One more breath in. And as you exhale, return back to hands and knees. And from here, go ahead and thread the right arm under the left, and we'll move right into thread the needle. Hips high. Breathing into the space between the shoulder blades here. One more breath. And we'll all return back to hands and knees. So take a moment to come back to neutral. Maybe take a couple of cat and cows again. Maybe finding a little bit of rotation. And then we'll come back to neutral spine. So this time, left toes extend back, toes to the ground to start. And then go ahead and lift the left leg. Make sure that left hip is dialed down. Feel that the right shin is pressing down in the left hand. And then when you're ready, right arm can come forward. So just finding length, balance, stability. One more breath in. And as you exhale, right hand comes down, left toes come down. Left leg is still extended. Right foot kickstands out. And left hip opens up. Okay, so coming into that variation of side plank. Sole of the left foot is pressing down. And you can really root down into your right hand and feel the left hips lift and arch. If you want, you can externally rotate your left arm and sweep it up and over. So this is a really nice side body opening. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, make your way back to hands and knees and thread the left arm under your right. And hips stay high for thread the needle. Side body long, opening up between the shoulder blades. One more cycle of breath. And then go ahead and meet me back in hands and knees. Take a moment to find your way back to neutral. Maybe you want to come through a couple of cat and cows or shift forward and back. If that feels good, that's kind of feeling good to me. And then in the next couple of breaths, we're going to start to make our way back into our first downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back. And then taking your time here, maybe pedaling the feet, shifting the weight from side to side. And then settle into feeling that the weight is even. You know, settle into a couple of moments of stillness. You can still soften the knees here, but feel that the heels are really pulling towards the ground here. One more breath. And then as you inhale, glide forward into plank pose. And as you exhale, lift back into downward facing dog, lifting from the back of your thighs, really engaging your quadricep muscles, lifting them up and back. Good. Inhale, glide forward, just touching into plank for a moment. And exhale, pressing your quadriceps back to lift up and back. So really using the legs to drive this. One more time. Inhale, glide forward into plank. Exhale, lift back, downward facing dog. Good. One more time, and we'll move through this one, gliding forward into plank. And from here, lower your knees down and come all the way onto the belly. Rest your forehead. Slide your hands back so they're in line with your chest. And then draw your elbows toward one another, feeling the upper back muscles start to fire up. Press the tops of your feet down and start to peel your upper body up. So lifting the sternum forward. Neck is long so that you're just looking forward and down. And you don't really have to go very high to feel a whole lot of work here. One more breath in, side body stays long. And exhale, release. So that's our baby cobra. Slide back, child's pose. Knees wide. I'm already warm. Sweatshirt's coming off here. One more cycle of breath in. One more cycle of breath out. Inhale, glide forward, hands and knees. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So we're going to move through that again. Inhale, glide forward, find your plank pose. We're just kind of loosening or lubricating really the shoulder joint here. Exhale, press the thighs up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward, find your plank pose. Exhale, engage the quadriceps, lift yourself up and back. Just a slow moving in between. This time we'll move on. Inhale, glide forward, find your plank pose. Lower your knees down, bend your elbows, come all the way onto the belly. Slide your hands back in line with your chest. Press the tops of your feet down, lengthen your tailbone, and lift your chest forward. Neck is long. Gently squeeze the elbows toward one another. One more breath in. And exhale, release. Press back, child's pose, knees wide. So if you think it might feel good, you could interlace your hands behind your back here. Maybe reach the knuckles towards the ceiling. One more breath in. And one more breath out. Good. Hands come back towards the mat. Inhale, forward, hands and knees. We'll move on this time. Meet me in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Let's just keep the hips level here. So I'm not opening my hip. I'm actually dropping my left heel down and drawing the outside of my left hip back. So I'm really grounding my left leg and I'm just pressing my right heel back into the air. On your next breath in, glide forward like you're coming into plank and bring your right knee and just see if you can tap your right tricep. It might not make it there. That's okay. Inhale, press back. Right heel goes back. And again, come forward. Right knee, right tricep. We're just going to stay with that. Inhale, come back. Good, that's it. Now this time, glide forward and just lightly step your right foot between your hands. So if it doesn't make it there, no big deal. Just help it up and then lower the left knee down. So you might want to grab blocks here. We're just coming into a low lunge. And I'm just going to lift my chest forward, okay? And you can decide if you want to sink your hips forward a little bit more. But if you're going to do that, I invite you to really engage your inner thigh muscles to support it with muscle. Okay, if this feels too much, you're just going to bring your hips a little bit over that back knee. I've heard this called proposal pose, and I think that's so cute. So you can propose if you want. So I'm going to keep my shoulders over my hips. I'm drawing my right heel back, my left knee forward so that my inseam of my body is nice and zipped up. Lower belly in. You can keep your hands on your blocks or reach them up if you want and join me. I'm going to interlace my hands together, palms to the ceiling, just like we did in our warm-up. One more breath in. And then we're going to bend the elbows, slide the hands behind the head. Okay, now this is where I start to jut my ribs forward. So I'm going to invite my ribs to come back and stay neutral. I can still find a long spine. I can still lift my chest, but I don't have to bow my ribs forward. One more big breath in. And then slide your hands to the right. See if you can get your left forearm behind your head. And again, press your head back just enough to open up the left shoulder without jutting the ribs forward. It's tricky. One more breath. And then we'll take it into the side bend. Right arm comes down. I'm using my block. And I'm just going to extend my left arm. Okay, so it's just a side body stretch. This is it. And then from here, left hand comes forward. I'm going to tuck my back toes, lift my left knee, right arm opens up for spinal twist. Okay. And from here, I'm going to pay attention to my right hip, and I'm going to see if I can draw the outside of my right hip back. One more breath in. And exhale, both hands come down. Step back, downward facing dog. So you could stay in your down dog. We'll be back here in just a couple of breaths, or if you want, you could glide forward. Find your plank pose. And as you exhale, lower all the way down, with or without your knees, your choice. Inhale to find cobra. And as you exhale, let's meet back in child's pose. Just take a breath. Gather yourself back together. One more slow breath in. One more slow breath out. Inhale, hands and knees. And exhale, we meet back in down dog. This time, left leg lifts up. Again, right heel is dropping down. Outside of the right hip is pulling back. Hips are level. From here, glide forward like you're coming into plank. Left knee, left tricep. Just moving in that direction. Press back, three-legged dog. Inhale, glide forward. Move the left knee toward the left tricep. And then just simply press it back, three-legged dog. This time, shift forward. Lightly step the left knee between your hands. Lower the right shin down. Arrange your low lunge or your proposal pose. Take the time to set yourself up, okay? So I don't expect you to land perfectly. It's okay. Chest should be facing forward. Spine long. Take one more breath here. Inviting the inner thighs into the pose. Tailbone lengthens down. Sternum facing forward. From here, arms come up. Interlace the hands, palms to ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the elbows, hands behind the head. Gently press your head back. Soften the front of your ribs. One more breath in. And shift the hands to the left, right forearms behind the head. Gently press the head into the forearm to open up the right tricep and shoulder. Again, soften your ribs. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but this is a lot of work, for me at least. One more breath in. Start to find that side bend. So press into the right shin a little bit more as you drop your left hand down to your block. And then extend the right arm long. So you're extending through your right fingertips, and you're going to feel it all the way down the right side of the body as you press your right shin into the ground. One more breath in. As you exhale, sweep the right arm forward. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, open the left arm up, spinal twist. And now see if you can draw the outside of your left hip back. Lengthen your spine and rotate at your rib cage. One more breath in. And exhale, left hand comes down. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Option to move through a slow flow chaturanga if you want. I'm going to sit this one out. We'll meet back in downward facing dog in just a breath or two. Look forward between your hands. And from here, we're going to slowly, mindfully take a walk up our mat. And together we'll meet in standing forward fold. Feet are at least hip width apart. Soften the knees. Let your upper body just fold forward here. Hands can rest on the ground or your blocks, or if you want, you can grab opposite elbows. We'll take one more breath here, folding forward. And then on your next breath in, find yourself in a halfway lift. Nice long spine. And from that halfway lift, bring your hands to your hips, press into your feet, and come all the way up with a long spine. Arms release alongside your body. And from here, we'll begin sun salutations. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Option to stay here in down dog. Or if you want, glide forward, find your plank pose. And from here, lower down, moving through up dog, cobra, locust. We all meet back in downward facing dog. So you can take your version of a vinyasa or chaturanga. After your next exhale, turn your gaze to your hands. Take your mindful walk up your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. So you can opt to stay here. I'm going to stay here this time. Actually, I'm going to come into child's pose for a couple of breaths. You can move through what your body needs. And in the next couple of breaths, we'll all meet back in our downward facing dog. And look forward between your hands, travel your feet to your hands. We'll move through one more. Sun A, slow and steady, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Option for vinyasa or just stay in down dog. One more breath in. One more breath out. Look forward between your hands. Let's travel the feet to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Lengthen to come all the way up. Exhale, mountain pose. Good. Feel the soles of your feet connecting to the ground. And just take a moment to feel balanced here in Tadasana. One more breath. One more breath out. Good. So from here, we're going to come into tree pose. So I just want you to imagine pouring the weight of your body into the sole of your left foot here. And then when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and either bring the sole of your right foot to the left shin, or if you want to bring it up high, that's up to you. You can also keep your toes on the ground and just bring the right heel to your left ankle. Wherever you're at in your tree pose, settle in. You can keep your hands at your heart, or you can reach them up towards the ceiling. As you press your foot into your left leg, think about pressing your left leg back into your right foot, finding that center line. Just one more breath here. And if your arms are extended, slide them back to your heart center, palms together, and start to draw your right knee forward. From here, we're going to extend the right leg back, moving through warrior three. So I'm going to keep my hands at my heart, dialing my right hip down, right heel's pressing back, left sole of the foot is pushing into the ground. Just one more breath here. And as I exhale, I'm going to start to bend my left leg and reach my right leg back and land in a high lunge. So lifting my shoulders over my hips. So if that didn't turn out the way you imagined it, it's okay. Just meet me in a high lunge. And from here, stretch the arms up towards the ceiling. And so our left leg is forward. So from here, we're going to come into eagle arms with the left arm wrapping under the right. Lift the elbows to shoulder height. And press the right heel back as you bend into the left leg. Coming back into a little shoulder opening in our crescent lunge. One more breath in. And as you exhale, release the arms, bring them back up. And this time, slide the palms to your chest and come right into spinal twist, so prayer twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. If you need to drop your back knee at any point, know that that's always an option. We're just here for another breath. See if you can really lift your chest toward your hands, deep spinal twist. And then release your hands down to the ground, or I'm going to use my blocks. And then straighten the left leg. So going right into a long pyramid. And hopefully this will feel a little bit like relief here. So feel free to walk your hands forward a little bit on your blocks and really find some nice extension in the side body. Don't worry about folding forward, but rather find length from your hips to your armpits. Remind yourself that this is an intense side body stretch. Press down through the left big toe. Draw the outer left hip back. Just one more breath in. One more breath out. And then from here, let's go ahead and travel our hands with our blocks to the right. And we'll use our straddle here as a place to come back to neutral. So maybe bending one knee and then the other. Take another breath or two in your straddle, doing whatever you need to do to find yourself back in a place that feels neutral. And then from here, go ahead and walk your hands to the back of your mat and meet me in downward facing dog. So you'll leave your blocks at the back of your mat. And then again, if you want, you can find a chaturanga variation. I'm going to stay in down dog. You feel like you need to move through a flow. And then we're going to repeat that whole thing facing the back of the mat. So from down dog, turn your gaze to your hands, travel your feet up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to your hips, press down into your feet and come all the way up to standing. Take a moment and mountain pose. Feeling both sides balanced here in your standing posture. And then pour the weight into your right leg and find tree pose with your left. So bringing up the left sole of the foot to the inner thigh or the inner shin, or maybe just the inner ankle. Zip up the inseam of your body, crown of the head, reaching tall. As the left foot pushes into the right leg, let the right leg press back into the left foot. One more breath in. And as you exhale, draw the left knee forward. And then slowly start to extend the left heel back. Finding your way into a variation of warrior three. Okay, so hands can stay at the heart. They can extend alongside your body. You could reach them forward. I'm going to choose hands at my heart today. Dial the left hip down and press through the sole of your left foot as much as you're pressing into your right foot. From here, start to think about transitioning to crescent lunge. So start to bend the right leg, reach the left foot back, and let it land. Upper body starts to lift upright. Good. So this time, our right leg is forward. So open your arms out like a T. So we're going to sweep the right arm under the left arm for our eagle arms. Lift your elbows so they're shoulder height. Press the left heel back, draw the right knee forward. Lift the chest just a little bit. And then release the arms, sweep them back up. And hands are going to slide down the center line of the body, landing in prayer. And from here, we'll come into prayer twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Good. Really draw the outside of your right thigh back as you press into your hands and lift your chest to your hands. Last posture here in this lunge. And then hands come down to your blocks and we straighten the right leg. Good. Find your pyramid. So I'm going to keep my pyramid extra long and just try to draw the outside of my right hip back a little bit more as I lengthen my spine forward. One more slow breath in. One more slow breath out. Walk your hands back through straddle and take a moment to find your version of straddle that is going to feel right in your body. So again, you could pedal the feet. You could shift the hips from side to side. Or maybe you just want to straighten the legs and reach the crown of the head down to the ground. We've got one more cycle of breath here. And then after you exhale, we're going to travel the hands back to the front of your mat and meet back in downward facing dog. One last time. Inhale, glide forward into plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down. So from here, reach your arms alongside your body, palms facing down. And you can take locust pose with your arms extended, or if you want to interlace your hands together, you can do that. When you're ready, lengthen and lift your upper body, sternum reaching forward. And then if you want to add the legs, you can lengthen and lift the legs, inner thighs, drawing together. One more breath, getting long. And exhale, release. Turn your head to the side and rest. You can let your shoulders round and release here. One more breath in. One more breath out. Turn your forehead back to face the mat. And we'll take one more locust pose. So you can decide whether you want to extend the arms alongside your body or interlace the hands. I'm going to sit this one out. When you're ready, lengthen and lift. Yeah, or if you wanted to go for bow pose, that's totally cool. One more slow breath in. And one more slow breath. Good. Release. Turn your head the other way. And it might feel good here to bend your knees and just let your, feet kind of windshield wiper back and forth. Just finding a little release here. And then when you're ready, we're going to meet in a seated position. And so coming into bound angle, we're going to take the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Okay. So once you have yourself adjusted, feel balanced, inhale, get long in the spine. And as you exhale, start to lengthen forward. And we're going to keep the spine nice and long here. So not so much rounding, but a little bit more active here. So I'm actually pressing my feet together a little bit. And I'm trying to find length from tailbone to sternum. I'm trying to avoid rounding a little bit here. Just a few more breaths here. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then inhale, lift your upper body back up. Lean back onto your hands. Bring the knees back together. Might feel good to do a little bit of windshield wipering. And then from here, I'm going to set you up for two options. So right leg can extend, and you're going to cross the left knee on top of right knee to the best of your ability. So that's one option. The other option is go Mukasana, cow face pose. So that would be knees stacked. And if you're in that variation, maybe see if you can, I like to try to bring my ankles out in line a little bit with my knees. That's an option. You could also bring them in a little bit closer. And you always have the option of putting something under your left hip. So if you feel really off balance, if you're leaning, you're gonna set yourself up. This posture isn't for everyone. So, extending the bottom leg is a great option. And then from here, maybe just sitting up nice and tall is where you want to stay. That might be enough sensation. Think about drawing the outsides of the hips down and maybe softening the front of the ribs. Okay, if you have the mobility and you want to start to lengthen your upper body forward, you can also do that. But remember, we want to think about lengthening the spine. Okay, so not so much folding or rounding forward, but lengthening. And just another 2 or 3 breaths here. One more breath in. One more breath out. Let's start to lift your upper body back up. And again, lean back, untangle the legs. Maybe a little windshield wiper. And then we'll go ahead and set up for that posture on the other side. So you could do it with the bottom leg extended and the right shin or the right knee on top. Or you could go ahead and fold the bottom leg as well. You decide what feels best in your body. And take a moment to feel that you are balanced and that this posture is serving you. So if this really tweaks out your knees, don't do it. Okay, you could just take a figure 4, or you could do just a seated cross-legged posture. Close your eyes and really invite yourself to be present here. Even if it is uncomfortable, decide whether it's uncomfortable, whether it's not familiar, or whether it's not a good posture for your body. That's your choice. So these are just options that I offer for you to explore, for you to get familiar with your own body. Let's take just a few more cycles of breath here. And then on your next breath, start to lift your upper body back up. Lean back onto your hands, untangle the legs. And one more time, find a little bit of windshield wipering, knees side to side. And from here, we're going to roll onto our back. So grabbing the back of your thighs, knees bent, just ease yourself down. And then take a moment to just massage out your lower back. Knees circling in one direction. And then reversing. If there's anything else you need to do to complete your practice, feel free to do that. But then start to make your way toward stillness. So Shavasana, maybe recline bound angle might feel good today. Maybe you want to take your legs up. It's entirely up to you. We're going to land here for just about 2 minutes. And that will be it for this morning. Settling in to your final posture. So because you are at home, if you would like to stay a little bit longer in your Shavasana, you are of course welcome to. If you are ready to move on, it is 9 o'clock and you can begin to bring yourself back to seated. We'll complete our practice together, bringing our hands at our heart. And together we fold forward, sealing in your yoga practice. Namaste, everyone. Thanks so much for getting up early with me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you next time, everyone. Bye.